Old Man Pike has some wild skunks caged up in a pen out behind his woodshed. He throws in some feed every now and then, just enough to keep them alive." "Land sakes alive, Joe Bradley. What's he do that for?" Shack questioned as he was climbing up the bank of the river. "We all know that old skunk ain't worth nothing except to cause a big old stink." "Well, George James was a-sayin' how he was a-thinking about that he might just take one of them old skunks and let it go into the schoolhouse when school's a-takin' up again." Joe Bradley and Shack both began to laugh at the thought of that old skunk a-running loose in the school. Just thinking about the girls in their frilly little dresses and pretty little shoes a-running and a-screaming, trying to get away from that little skunk was about as much as they could stand. They were laughing so hard their sides were beginning to hurt. "Yeah, that would be a whopper of a joke, I reckon," Joe Bradley replied. They were getting close to Old Man Pike's place now, so they began to move real slow and try not to make a sound at all. That old dog of Pike's can pick up a scent 100 yards away. They eased up to the edge of the opening that led up to Old Man Pike's shack, peeked around some bushes, and sure enough, there he lay. Old Blood was sound asleep lying there in the sun. "Shack," whispered Joe Bradley, "let's go around back and see if them skunks are still there." "Joe Bradley," Shack was a-saying as he shook his head side to side, trying to say no, "now we're going to get caught, and then Sheriff Dan's going to take us both to jail." "We ain't going to get caught, Shack," he whispered. "We's just going to ease around that stack of wood and crawl over the shed where this old mule stays. You know that old mule. What's its name now?" Joe Bradley was saying, not really waiting for an answer. "Sally, was it? Or maybe it was Sassy," he was rambling as he was crawling around the stack of wood. "I believe it was Sassy. Yep, it was Sassy for sure." "Joe Bradley, we's going to get caught. Just you wait and see," Shack whined as he crawled right behind him. Joe and Shack were crawling around with their bellies, touching the ground, trying not to make a sound. They managed to get around the stack of wood with no problems. But as they were going around the shed where Sassy was lying in the corner, chewing on some hay, Shack felt something ice cold rubbing up against his leg. He wanted to look, but he was just too dad-blame scared of what he might see.